And he had a cape on. Didn't have any shorts on, just his diaper and his shirt and then top coat. Twin seat sheets.
There you go.
Alright, call the meeting to order. Amy, if you take the roll call.
Mayor Vogelright.
Here.
Ms. Burton. Here. Ms. Hoffman.
Here.
Ms. Strain. Here. Mr. Tucker.
Here. And say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'll look for a motion to approve the agenda.
So, second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now I'll look for approval of the July 21st minutes.
So moved.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain because I was not here.
Okay, thank you. All right, motion carries. Jeff, Commissioner or Commissioners, updates, any board reports?
The only comments I would make is, as you've seen in our detour notice, the railroad bridge has been reopened and they've been using that since Friday. The supporting structures and that kind of stuff will be gone total within 4 to 5 weeks. That's the structure that they use to actually build the bridge. And then the only other thing I would say is the McCook Lake Deep Fisher Parks project has been completed.
And I understand the association also kept them on for a few days to do some extra additional work.
Yep.
All right, any other reports? If none, just a reminder, if you see an item you'd like to speak about that's on the agenda, you can wait for that item to come up. Otherwise, if it's not, please come up and share input with us.
I am Anna Falk on 60 North Shore Drive. I have a couple of questions. Do you know if they're going to fill that hole in between me and Kathy before they pour the concrete for the street? Because wouldn't it make more sense to do that while it's dirt instead of driving those heavy trucks over the freshly poured concrete?
You know the answer to that, Jeff?
That will likely be done either in conjunction with or right after.
Okay. So, but they are gonna fill it so that my drive is there, so that I have access to that drive.
Yep.
Okay. And then my other question is, I know the road is supposed to be closed while they're working on Penrose, but we've been having cattle trucks go through there.
Yeah, the only thing I can say there is that until they start working on there might be some people that slip through that, but until they start working on it, it's not a big issue.
Well, they were out there working, you know, somewhat today, and the trucks, the cattle trucks were going through.
We can ask Rich to monitor that.
Okay, all right. And thank you guys for keeping us updated. We really appreciate that. You guys have been doing a really good job of doing that for us.
Okay, good to hear. Thank you.
My name is Bill Wallou. I'm at number 31. I have a question. Are there any plans now that are in the works with the Corps of Engineers, the city, the county, the state, to channel floodwaters northwest of us to protect Macoupla? I know it's a big question.
I know Mike Daly, the county commissioner, is chairing a task force that's working with the Army Corps of Engineers, the county, the city. I don't know.
One of the mitigation options.
So at the same time, the city of North Sioux City is working on some shorter term mitigation plans, which will be coming up again here soon on our agendas. We had some preliminary designs done on, I think, 3 or 4 different alternates. That would be more of a local effort with FEMA. We're working on that at the same time the county is working on the long-term plan with the Corps of Engineers. And they've already applied for funds to do the hydrology studies and
Senator Thune and Senator Rouse have $5,000 in the president's budget for the Corps to look at flooding in southeast South Dakota and the 1976 plan that's currently in place.
did you say 5,000?
500,000.
Thank you.
Oh.
Don't go very far, I'm afraid. So yes, there's 2 plans working congruently. The longer term plan with the Army Corps is in the works.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, move into the agenda. First item is Cook Lake recovery. Penrose update. Ross?
All right. So to get started, we wanted to present, this is the schedule directly from the contractor as they submitted it to us, showing the progressive work on Penrose Drive. Sorry, I'm just making sure that I'm looking at the same schedule as everyone else's.
This is the one you sent.
Okay. So anyway, with Penrose Drive, right now there is the completion of the grading work is going on. All the utility work is now complete on the project. Contractor still has to get a little bit more dirt off that subgrade. There's a process for treating that subgrade that'll be happening over the course of this week, along with the actual removals of some of the asphalt pavement we put down last fall on North Shore Drive. Following the completion of that subgrade work, the paving contractor will come in this Saturday to trim the subgrade in preparation for the paving. Concrete paving is anticipated to take place early next week, followed by 2 days of potential asphalt paving to tie in at the north and south ends of Penrose. And then we'll need a little bit of cure time. So right now, as it sits, North Shore Drive is projected to reopen next Friday. Obviously, the weather could impact that schedule slightly, but I feel like they've given themselves a little bit of leeway with the grading work and the subgrade prep, that they should be able to hit that as long as we don't have too much wet weather. So with that, school is going to be starting the following week, so they would still be getting Penrose paved prior to school starting, and North Shore should be open prior to school starting. But that will put us back 1 week behind their proposed schedule and what the contract schedule says. So they are coming in about a week late on that work. Any other questions on Penrose?
School starts the 18th, Monday the 18th, when school starts.
Yeah, and the contractors, you know, they're aware of the tight deadline and the need to get this thing open before school starts. So if it comes down to it, working around Saturday, Sunday, they've kind of committed to doing that, whatever it takes to get it done. Okay.
All right, North Shore reconstruction.
Okay, North Shore, I think Jeff was going to talk a little bit through the easements and right-of-way. But currently, we're kind of in the process of putting together the final package of plans again for the North Shore reconstruction and working through some comments with Federal Highway on those plans and kind of the environmental review side. And I think Jeff was going to touch on the easements and right-of-way documents.
Yeah, the environmental review side, which I would have hoped would have been done in June, is still trudging along. So we still got to wrap that up. Federal Highways and South Dakota DOT are supposed to be doing that. The other issue we had was securing the necessary easements and right-of-ways for this project. You know, I'm down to 8 that I still haven't got. Out of them, I've talked to 3 of them, and they're fairly ready to sign, come in and do it. So there's just a couple, there's probably 5 or 6 out there that we still need to work on. Some of them would be involved with the acquisition proposal that you put forth. So I'm optimistic that we will get this. Our bid schedule is this winter, right?
Yeah, I think we had a January bid letting.
So we need to have these in place by November 1. So we still have some time. I just had a couple signed here this week and last week, so we're slowly making some progress.
So I've got a question on that. Let's just look at worst case. If we don't get them all, is eminent domain a possibility that we could use if we had to keep the project on schedule for next spring?
That would be a part of the process, is that if we weren't able to secure an agreement with the property owner, then there would be the legal process, which we would need to file in court to pursue that.
And as I understand it, if we get the easements now and we're not purchasing the property, if we're just getting an easement, it doesn't affect the homeowner's building envelopes. But if we went through eminent domain and acquired the property, it would shrink their building envelopes.
That's correct.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, and that's why we're doing the easements instead of the right-of-way acquisition on this, so that they can maintain the current building envelope that's there.
Because those lots are all tight along North Shore on the lakeside. So if they lost the building envelope, that would be worse.
Yeah, it would shrink up the front, they'd have to push it back, and it just shrinks it up by whatever feet that is, so. But that's why we switched to an easement proposition instead of a right-of-way acquisition, so that we could maintain the building envelopes there.
And how long do we wait before we would have to start that process? Do you know?
I'm not familiar with how long that process takes, but I would think by September 1, if we have a good feeling, we should start talking about other options. If we want to get it underway for next year.
And I think that sounds reasonable for the timeline that you're going to need to go through the legal process if you aren't successful in getting that grant.
Okay.
Okay. And then I'm going to jump down to item number 5 on this memo is the Dakota Valley parking lot repairs. Quick update on that. So the parking lot work that the city is doing under the city's contract is complete. Has actually been complete for about a week now. There is still part of that contract involves doing some patchwork on North Shore Drive, which is part of the reason why we have North Shore closed right now also, so that we can coincide the closure we already needed for Penrose reconstruction with this patching on North Shore. And I believe, the contractor was out looking at that job this week and kind of making sure they have the right quantities, the right areas, kind of assessing how they're going to go about the patchwork. And I think they plan on coming back later this week to do that work. But if they don't, for some reason, get it done this week, they still have it all next week.
And then the last half of that needs to be completed by leaders through in conjunction with the school project, but they've held off long enough for us to be able to continue to use that road behind the elementary school for Penrose access. So as soon as we can get Penrose main line paved, then we can complete the leader can complete his school project, and the parking lot can be 100% done. Thanks, Ross.
Yep, that's all I have.
So we'll jump back to the North Shore bypass.
Yeah, last week or 2 weeks ago, the commission approved the agreement with South Dakota DOT. And so we've got those agreements back to them tomorrow. I'm meeting with the Union County Commission to talk about the West Shore dedication proposal or agreement. But in the meantime, Stockwell came up with a couple real good videos to kind of give you a good impact of the North Shore bypass project and the North Shore reconstruction. So if I'll try to talk you through it, but I'm going to go ahead and play that when it plays. Make it bigger. There you go. So here you're coming in on from Windstone coming from the west to the bypass. Off to the right is the school, off to the left is the dogwood. So you're going north on the bypass. There's the exit to the school. It's currently there now. Off to the left, you see where the lift station will be. And then if you take a left where that red dump truck is, that'll take you up north.
That's what is being dedicated
Yes,
from
there south.
to us. Okay.
So as you approach up here, here's the entrance to the school to the right. Going down along there. See those? Off to the right there, those buildings would be Penrose,
Really?
approximately. Now as you come up to here, you take a right to get back onto North Shore, or go straight through to exit 4. So can you show the other one of Penrose, to give you some perspective from Penrose side? So this is coming in west again. On your left is the school, off to the right is the lake with the turning lanes. Obviously the address is listed there, and the left is that's Penrose. The end. Now this road would continue on to Streeter Drive, and then you can take Streeter Drive into exit 2 if you wanted to. That left takes you out to the bypass. And then through to, so if you go straight, that's Streeter Drive. If you take a right, I don't remember what the name of that street is, but so that's just kind of an overview of how the road flows. Just wanted to, that just got finished last week, so to present that to you and the community. That'll be, if you want to look at it somewhere, it'll be on the website. Any questions? Scott?
Thank you. Last time we had talked about possibility of wiggle room, you were going to investigate that. What was the outcome on that?
It's not going to be able to be moved. I mean, it could be moved 10 feet or 5 feet, but it's not going to be able to be moved to the degree that you're thinking. It's not going to be possible.
So 5 feet is the maximum, is what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, 5 feet, it can be moved some just to 5 feet or 1 foot or 2 foot, but not 20 feet, 30 feet.
Well, as far north as it could go, is better.
Beth Bruning, 3710 Northwest Shore Drive. Who was it who had the conversations with the SDDOT? Was that you, Chris? Were you one to speak to them?
That was Jeff.
So Jeff alone was the only one who spoke with them?
Stockwell was in there,
Oh, he-
Federal Highway was in there. If you want to call South Dakota DOT, you can call Paul, and we can talk to him.
Okay. Also, on the bills, I see that there's several, 4 or 5, I can't remember, payments that are going to be made to the SDDOT regarding the North Shore bypass. What are those for? Do we know what those payments are for? I think like
Those are-
$90,000 worth.
Those are for the design, and for design work, for
So
environment,
Stockwell's
yeah.
charges.
South Dakota DOT contracted with Stockwell to design and take this through the environmental and right-of-way acquisition process. The reason there's so many on there right now is because I was holding those bills until we got a final agreement with them.
Is that the total that's been paid to date
That's the total that's been paid to date by the city.
by the city? Okay, and then on the video, the sort of showing how that's going to work, is that part of those design fees then? Is that,
Yeah,
so those are
Yep.
accruing charges
Yep.
as well?
but it's a fixed contract amount. I can't remember. How much is it, Ross? Do you remember? 1 point some
Yeah, I don't know.
For the design and all that stuff.
It's how much?
I want to say it's 1 million, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, it's around $1 million. I can't remember off the top of my head.
But that's to pay for all the design work, all the environmental review process for the right of way
And
acquisition.
so it's capped.
Yes, it's
then,
capped at the contract amount.
So is there a disincentive then to make any changes because of the extra amount of time and work that we'd be required to make those changes?
You know, they've had all the discussion and changes that have been to date is just within that contract, and it's been eaten by the contract.
I just mean going forward, so like their
We'd have to pay for
changes.
change orders, yeah. We'd have to pay for additional change orders.
So so it's not a set contract amount.
It's a set contract amount, and it can be change ordered by mutual agreement of South Dakota DOT and Stockwell.
Okay. And then one
But I
last.
don't know that we would participate in that. I mean, we've got a design that's fixed, it's ready to go. I don't know why the city would deviate and spend more money.
Can they do deducts like they did for the Penrose, the deduct the sidewalk on the other side when bids come in? So I noticed like on the video, it doesn't show like a median there. In certain parts along the bypass, there's no median. And of course, we would prefer no median, certainly where it goes down West Shore. There wouldn't seem to be a need for a median there. And so that would be something that would help save some of our property because it wouldn't have to be so wide because of that extra median in the middle. When you look at what's shown today
Median is
there.
therefore just to control access. So, and we get into the project, if you wanted to delete something, that would have to be by mutual agreement of South Dakota DOT, South Dakota DOT, and then we'd have to agree to the additional design fees.
But there'd be a deduct in the cost of the project because it wouldn't have to be as big or have that.
But if we
median.
shrink up the footprint, there is additional design changes that would have to be made to the plans.
So it just seems like everything we request, it's always that we can't do it, but on other things that can be changed. I feel like that the city isn't really giving us any leeway or working with us in any fashion. Those of us who are affected by the project, those of us who you're taking property from, we're
buying property.
getting nothing.
We're buying property, let's make sure that that's.
It's property that we don't want to sell. It's property that we don't want to give up. So you are taking it, whether you're paying for it or not.
Well,
You are taking it from
That's fair.
us. So, anyway, just hope y'all take that into consideration.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments on the North Shore bypass?
Chris, I just have one question. Are there going to be stoplights where you go to get onto the bypass?
Not at this time.
If the traffic would justify it someday, they would add them.
Okay,
But at this point, there's no
That's not
plans
in-
scheduled. No.
all right, thank you.
On the bypass, I was told that the speed limit would be up to 45. Construction would make it possible for the speed limit to be up to 45. But I was also told it would probably be 45. So it's probably going to be what? Do we have a solution on that?
Maybe Ross can answer that.
I guess I can speak to what our designs are, maximum allowable speeds are. I don't know.
Yeah, we can set them lower.
Yes, we can always set them lower. So the primary design speed we're trying to hit throughout the corridor is 45 where we could. There's a couple areas we reduced for various reasons because of the tight radius of corners and that sort of thing. So like for instance, the right at exit 4, that first curve is only rated at like a 30 mile per hour design speed, so we would not post higher than that. And then the first curve on the far west end, as you're coming off of, what would be North Shore and turning on the West Shore, that curve was reduced radius to take away less property in that corner, and that one is rated at 35, I believe.
So it'll be somewhere south of 30.
Yeah. So that's just design.
And just for comparison, Streeter Drive is currently at 40, I believe.
Closer.
River Drive is what, 40?
River Drive's 40 also.
1303 Quinella. This is the first time I've noticed there's a lift station. Is that part of this bid? Is the lift station and infrastructure part of the construction of the bypass? So that'll all be, so that Brookings land can be developed?
It's being designed, yes,
Okay.
that would spur continued development out there.
Okay, and will that infrastructure be on the north side or the south side where like the sidewalks are?
Well, the infrastructure's on the north side, isn't it?
The sanitary sewer is on the north side. Forest main will be kind of on the north, and then the west side, West Shore. Water main is always on be like the inside curve, so on West Shore it'd be on the east side, on the north piece it'd be on the south side. And then we do have stubs across at various locations to serve future development on both sides of the road.
Thanks.
So when do we find out how much our share is gonna cost us? Because I'm gonna guess this bad boy is way over 17 million.
Yeah, we'll have an opportunity, that's probably the next decision point after today. Prior to their bid, we'll have to approve an authorization to bid, which will spell all that out for you.
And that local share is 10%?
Well, 17 million is, we're gonna get 17 million from the congressionally designated spending, and then another 1.5 or 1.8 from FEMA for the water line, and then we'll have to pay the rest.
Other questions?
On the video, it showed trees between the bypass and the residential area. Is that all along, or is that mainly to dampen the noise from the traffic for the residential area?
I think they're planned all along the
Plan all around there.
The bypass.
For aesthetic and for some sound reduction, I suppose.
The north side, I don't think is planned now, and part of that might have been catching snow. Is that what the reason was?
I think that might be part of the factor that kind of went into that. I think part of it was also that we weren't doing anything with the sidewalk on that north side. So that would give us, at the time that sidewalk, if it would go in, when we would put that in, that's probably the time we would try to plant trees. But as of right now, yeah, they're all on the south side and then kind of spaced sporadically up throughout the corridor, and as well as dampening noise in the future, it'll also serve one of our environmental commitments for the environmental side.
Can I ask what kind of trees? You mentioned environmental. What kind of trees?
That hasn't been
That
determined.
hasn't been determined? Okay.
Not cottonwood, I hope.
Right.
Nobody
Correct.
plants. Nobody plants cottonwood. They're free. All right. There's no other questions. We'll move on to homeowner recovery update.
Yeah, just briefly, after the last commission, we sent out letters of interest to see who was interested, and I think I've talked to most of them, except I've got 2 left to contact. And there have been some no's, and there have been some yeses, and there have been some maybes. So I think by the 21st, I should be able to give you a fairly good budget to work from, and we can make some decisions from there.
It was the deadline August 14th, I believe.
August 14th.
Okay. Yep. Any questions on that? Okay, move on to planning and zoning.
Alright, first item on the planning and zoning is a plat for Atlantis Lot 2 and Narrow Track 2. Donald and Rena Lantis are submitting this plat of a proposed lot 2, proposed lot 2 in railroad track 2 in the southwest quarter of the southwest quarter, section 3, township 89 north, range 48 west. This plat will separate the section of 10 feet on the far east side or south side of that lot for transfer to the neighboring property owner. Stockwell Engineers has reviewed the plat and found it in conformance with city standards, and it was approved at the last planning commission with a 4-0 vote.
Okay, we're looking for a motion to approve this plat.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any others? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, plat's approved.
I guess I should have mentioned before we move on that the property owner is also in the process of rezoning that property, which is related to this next item we're discussing.
Yeah, so these are connected.
Yes. So the second item is a plat for Wacom Tract 1. Wacom Properties LLC and Donald and Rita Lantis are submitting this plat for the proposed Wacom Tract 1. This plat will consolidate and vacate previous platting, which include Lantis Lot 2, which we just approved in the last item, and then lots 3 and 4 of Block 3, Town of McCook, which includes a previously vacant alley in the rear yards of Lot 3 and 4. The intent of this plat is to consolidate these parcels and construct a new single-family residential home on this new parcel. And Stockwell Engineers has reviewed the plat for conformance with city standards. All comments have been addressed, and then this plat is also approved at the last planning commission meeting with a 4-0 vote.
Is there a motion to approve this plat?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay. Next item is a plat of Tract 4A in Union Crossing Edition. PBR Capital Group LLC is submitting this plat of proposed Tract 4A of Union Crossing Edition to the city of North Sioux City. This plat will vacate the previously platted Tract 4. It includes all of the area that was previously part of Tract 4, but adds a 50-foot wide strip that will connect to the future street right-of-way for London Lane at the north end. So it's a little easier to see on the second page of this. It's sideways, but see there's a little finger towards the north end that now connects to that right-of-way. And so the reason for this plat is the apartment complex owner and PBR decided it would be better for their development to have their own private driveway connection to that London Lane, is that future street to the north. And this also kind of eliminates issues with having either a dead-end public street or having a private street kind of within that development area. So within that, there will be utility services for Tract 4A if approved, and then a single driveway to serve that apartment complex.
And they already have another access to the east connecting to Sioux Point. That's already done.
Correct.
Okay.
And then we'll be talking more about that with our next plat, but yes, there will be a second access point on the Sioux Point Road directly.
Any questions on this plan? Look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay, next item is plat for tract E1 of Union Crossing Edition. PBR Capital Group is submitting this plat post tract E1 of Union Crossing Edition. And the city of North Sioux City, and this plat will vacate the previously platted lot R13 and transfer a 10-foot strip of what was lot R13 back to the north part of tract 3. This plat shows required utility easements, but these easements are going to be established not within this plat document, but with a later agreement moving forward with the developer. So essentially what this tract E1 will do is will provide an access point on the Sioux Point Road for tract 4A, as well as the two parcels to the north and south of the proposed tract E1. That there will be a mutual access easement established, so all those parcels can use that single access point, and then within that there will be utility easements for public storm sewer and water main. And then
Does the bike trail show on this?
it does not show up on this plot. The kind of between those two lines on the east side.
Okay.
And then this plat was reviewed by Stockwell engineers on conformance, and then was also approved at the last planning commission 4-0 vote.
Is there a motion to approve this plat?
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
The next item is Title 13 and 17 standards update that Jeff had asked us to prepare a proposal for to assist with reworking some of these standards for zoning and development of land and kind of streamline those. And we work with CCOG, city staff, and developers, as well as the planning and zoning department to come up with update recommendations.
Yeah, so one of the things that we've talked about is some of the things that really need to be accomplished within the next 6 to 8 months is revisions of our ordinances. Specifically, our planning and zoning ordinances are clunky. They need to be revised. They need to be more detailed in some spots, more general in other spots. And then our water and sewer ordinances also need to be revised to address things like multi-tenant properties. Example would be the trailer courts and stuff right now. Right now, we have water meters going to each one of those trailer houses, which can become very cumbersome, especially in the winter months, where we want to try to streamline that so that we have one master meter that we sell water to the property, not to each individual trailer. Other multi-tenant properties would also fall into that category. What I asked Stockwell to do is provide a work order to provide up to $30,000 worth of staff time to help us identify and come up with better solutions for some of our zoning and water and sewer ordinances. I think the city will lead that discussion, but we'll use Stockwell and CCOG to supplement and help put those together to bring forward to you for consideration and approval. And we'll also involve commissioners on that too. You know, when we're talking about utilities, we'll bring Julie in. We're talking about development and planning stuff, we'll bring Vince in. And I would say the mayor will sit in on some of those as well. To try to get to an ordinance we feel is appropriate for this community and where we want to moving forward.
Is there a motion to approve the work order?
I will make that motion. As a former planning and zoning committee member, we struggle with it often, that, you know, this was things just weren't up to date, and we've been pushing it down the road and down the road and down the road, and we just this is sorely needed, so I make the motion to approve this.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ross. All right, moving on to financial.
Yep, we need a second reading of the ordinance 2025-06, the supplemental appropriation that we brought to your last meeting. And that is increasing the city administrator by 21,000, elections by 3,400, civil defense by 17,500, and streets by 229,000. Part of the 229 was coming from the Spike Trail grant, and the rest is from our unassigned fund balance.
We had the first reading at the last meeting.
Right, just a second reading here.
And then it'll come up again a third. No, there's this. Okay. Yeah. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Vote surplus.
Yes, we have a 2005 16-foot one boat and a shoreliner boat trailer that we would like permission to surplus and put up for auction on Gov Deals. And Gov Deals is in charge of putting out the required notifications.
And I did check with Dakota Valley Fire District. They do have a rescue boat that they own already. So if there was an emergency on the lake, there's still protection. Is there a motion to approve the sale of the boat?
I'll make a motion to approve the sale.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay, the next thing in financial is a 2024 infrastructure disaster recovery program agreement that we are asking the commission to approve and name a designee for. This program is a state loan program that will loan us short-term money to use until FEMA money comes in. And it has to be an approved project, which we have one approved project. It's our utility line project, utility and stormwater, I believe. Our project is written for $3.5 million. We've spent almost $400,000, so they'll take that off of there. And then we are able to loan up to 85% of that, which is a little north of $2.6 million. It's a 0% loan for the first 18 months, and then it goes to 4%. As soon as we get reimbursement from FEMA, they'll also send us a bill to repay the FEMA portion, the federal portion. So that's due within 30 days of us getting our FEMA reimbursement. With the state, we have 7 years to pay that back, and it'll continue at a 4% interest rate. So this is saying we're able to draw it if we want to, but we don't have to.
And it's 0% the first 18 months.
Yes.
So this will be part of the financing picture for the North Shore bypass, because this particular project for FEMA provides a looped water line around the bypass that will service Penrose a second source of water. And then we'll also provide a second source of water around to the west side of the lake. You recall the west side was out of water after the flood because of broken water lines. Just provides a secondary loop around so that we have more options of providing water to the west side.
So we're borrowing this money just to put in the water line?
We don't have to borrow, it's just a source to put in a dual water line. The second water line along Penrose got washed out in the flood, so this is putting it back along the North Shore bypass so the water can be fed from the north and the south. And so it lessens the probability that Penrose would be out of water. It lessens the probability that West Shore would be out of water in properties to the west.
So if we don't do this, there won't be a secondary water line, is that what you're saying?
No, this is just a funding option for us. We can still fund it internally, but at 0% for 18 months and 4% for 7 years, that's a pretty good financing option.
It's cheaper than borrowing from the banks.
Bank or SRF, well, not SRF, but pretty close. And we're not incurring any debt by this, Vince. We have an option, it's kind of a line of credit that we can draw on if we so choose. I mean, you may decide to pay with all local funds, depend on what your savings rate is or your money market rate is. If your money market rate was higher than 4%, you'd save it and borrow it. If it was lower than 4%, you would borrow it and keep your money. So it just gives us options.
Are there other opportunities for other projects to use the same?
It's only in conjunction with FEMA projects.
Okay, so any FEMA related project?
With this one FEMA related.
With the one FEMA, because it's a large project.
Okay, look for a motion to approve.
I'll motion to approve it.
Second.
Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign.
No.
Okay. Motion carries. Introduction to Senior Meals Program.
Yeah, Lynn and I have been working with on a solution to the absence of Rocks serving senior meals. Rocks have been serving senior meals up to about a month and a half ago, maybe since May. And Lynn and I have been talking to the school district and their lunch provider, which is Lunchtime Solutions up at Dakota Dunes, about trying to get those meals made at the school under Lunchtime Solutions, and then we could bring those meals to the senior center to serve the seniors. We could also use that program to provide the meals on wheels, and it was working out to where the kids could help serve the meals, and then maybe the seniors could go to the school for the Thanksgiving in December and Easter meals. So we were working through that. So essentially the city would be buying meals from the school, and then we would be serving them at the senior center. Is that fair?
Yes. We would charge for those citizens who are able to make the payment. We're still working on what our plan would be, because obviously we have some of our residents who are not in the position to be able to pay. And under the ROCKS program, they work with, I believe it was one of the federal agencies, to see about reimbursement. So that's kind of our touty area right now. The worst case scenario, we would ask that the city might help for those people who can only pay a portion of their lunch or nothing. I don't know that it's going to be a huge number of people who cannot afford to pay. Most of the people are very happy to pay it. It gives them an outlet to come and enjoy other people's company, and they have little gatherings every now and again. And I just think it's very important that as a city, we support that project.
What our plan was to introduce it tonight and bring you a proposal next week after the next school board meeting. However, I don't know if you read the email I sent you today. The school board is having problems with the Department of Education and having them allow it under the current contract. What DOE is saying is, you know, if you want to provide that, you're going to have to rebid your whole meal service. You know, so it's kind of hit a little bit of a road bump there. But we're trying to remedy it, and if it can't happen this year, maybe it can happen next year. But I sent you that email today, and I don't know if you got it.
I'm sorry, I did not look at that. I was
That was some bad
looking at
news.
financial duties today.
I had already put it on the agenda, but we are looking for a solution for the senior meals program. If not this, we'll try to search out for another one.
The one thing that I will say is, many of the people that I have talked to personally in the city, they're like, what can we do to help? So if we can't work something out with lunchtime solution, I think we can find another option. And I'll keep looking until we do.
Alright. Sounds good. So that'll come back at a later date. Payment of bills. I think there's a list. Just need a motion to.
Yeah, I made 3 more by everybody's that didn't get on the list that was in the packet. They were in the ones to be approved.
Everybody see those extra ones? Okay. All right, look for a motion to approve the bills.
A motion to approve the bills.
I'll second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right. So we have a contract to discuss. So we will need to have a motion to move into executive session. This is our first one, I think, so we're new at this.
You want to make sure that you're going to cite the South
Dakota Code Law 1-25-23 for the purposes of consulting with legal counsel about contractual matters. So we will need a motion to move into executive session.
motion to move into executive.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, we'll do that. And if we need action, we'll come back into these chambers. All right.
Ross, go for it. Did you enjoy it?
I've never seen anyone write so That's very good.
Well, thank you, sir.
So Holly Springs.
where it's considered a local budget. It's, the color size, like the sensor on it is unique today. Kind of, I bought it a year ago. I haven't used it like I thought I would, so it's only got 3,000 shutter count 3,000, 3,700, so there was 17 cameras. It's got a life expectancy of 150,000.
Wow.
Selling it and the lens for $650. I don't know. I've used it like that. Those are my drones. I did that last week. I came to the show. That was the first time I came to my house with that one. I did see, was it the stone coverage last? I'm at Wood First North Station. It's nice to supply a drone. We don't have drones, next stars, anti-drone. It's really weird. You were young, and when I first got hired, he was asking me about drones. I saw I was once, and he goes, "Okay, do you think that's a thing, or is it just a fad?" I go, "That's a thing. It's definitely a thing." Watch any sporting event, there's tons of drone shots.
Oh, yeah.
Anything you want to do, drone shots. And you watch Dateline, you watch 60 Minutes.
Oh, yeah.
It's everywhere. Oh, they're everywhere. Like, on Friday night, I had to go down to Friday Night Live and some stuff, a great shot, a drone shot of that. Was there a lunch? Did you get a break, right? That's true. That's true.
Yeah, so she was in Milford that morning, and then every night during history. So this is what I graduated on. That's what you guys do. Something else,
Well, I saw Chase up there because I was angry. And I was like, you were doing this. I'm like, you're going there. It's out there. It's Sunday. This is the road. One day we go to
I understand this.
It's still, I mean,
So never anyone anything.
It's like, I'm just moving. There's 30,000 people involved. I actually said we're over this way. Right? This thing. It's the biggest thing going on right right now. It's three of the first three towns are in our viewing area. I mean, it's kind of a thing. I'm sorry to go over it.
I understand because usually, is it south very often or is it?
It was south last year.
Yeah, but like,
There's not, it's a, like, sometimes we got back up here sometimes, because we had it 4 years in a row.
yeah,
You know, we had it in Mars, Sergeant Bluff, and Sioux City, just
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. So
and I understood like the break from it, but I thought everything.
I thought they stayed out south, yeah. I think north, and if you come north, a little city, a lot of, I mean, it's out here, it's south.
So I understand,
That's
it's
right now.
like, I don't like, if it's costly, I understand, like, I'm sure, like, what you're saying, oh, that's that thing. But it's still.
That's the whole thing, we should have, that was a KTI agency, I did the first 2 days, that was one of those alarms, but then I went to Sac City, and I did a full alarm on Saturday, I went to Sac City, and Saturday.
It's so understand, like, it's something different every time you go, like, you meet new people there.
That's nice, that we got people coming, right, the first time from all over the country, the world.
Like that Saturday, that was Katie and I played, you know, the guy in Italy.
Oh, yeah.
This is his very first time I did it. It's so fun.
When I did the thing for KTA, I was one of the camp guys in Mars, and it was like fairground, I had people from Vegas, Washington DC, you know, Chicago, Arizona. And our visitors like, yeah, it was all great, right? Yeah, they just like watch that, I guess.
We had a whole like setup on Saturday and then like the tent and everything. And also the storm punch this past week.
Yeah,
We
Tuesday,
like-
good.
we went back.
I was off that day, last Tuesday. But again, I had at least one person lined up for that event. Yes, yes, I had
Oh,
4 different towns or whatever.
yeah. You were just
I
like.
was last, I was like, dude, we are gonna play right here. It's like flash.
Was it was somebody.
We had,
who said that.
yeah, we had somebody go up there, they were doing reminder shots, which we should have done. I'm surprised in the power stations. You know, like, you guys are on the parades all the time, before the meetings, and you do that stuff. But you do the stuff I did last week, when I was back in that shit, I bring it up. Power station, wow, you guys are doing stuff. I go, oh yeah, you know, that's awesome, or shit like that. There's people, like, people see a lot of those things, they see your station, they see that one, you know, where Orange City or Sioux Center, whichever town they're in, doing their shots there, and people see them there, that's what makes a difference. It's these little things like that, they don't speak in schools, because I don't catch it, goes into schools. I keep bringing it up, and I look at it, I'm insane, like, well, maybe we should.
Yeah, the amount of people that came up, because I had to like,
Yeah, well, yeah.
the amount of people that came up, there's coverage.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And then
It's
they're
not
like.
that, you don't remember that, so.
And even like they're talking about the orange, like all the cabins and everything, they're like, you know, I saw this morning. When you guys had full newscasts, you were still on the wall.
Like, well, the next day, that Tuesday, we should have, a couple sharpshooters from the storm, like, we still sent one from somebody to Norfolk, we saw the library. Even other days, it should have been 24/7 storm coverage, that's all we should have done. So it's in contact with the supervisors. Supervisors, we need to be just frustrated. We still have, we had store crush like a minute, 2 minutes, and I was like, man, the supervisors, who cares? It's not either, it's all those towns were just, got hit hard. I even said that night before, because I was gonna be on Tuesday, and I go, hey, the city says that I put it on there, I asked him something, I never scheduled all this stuff, we should be, 100 mile an hour winds, there's gotta be storm change, there's gonna be bright trees down, there's gonna be great stuff. We need to be honest. My recommendation, I needed it.
You're trying.
That's kind of the purpose of why we're here.
Orange City though was pretty, like, we're looking at how much weather is there. It showed that
Any weather cams up north, I'm trying to think. Cherokee is like the furthest north. Everything else is Ottawa, Wayne, two in Sioux City. We don't have one on the budget, which I think we should have. We don't have one shelter, which I think we should have. Orange City, Sioux Center. Holly Springs. In fact, the Carrot Alley.
Sailings, Iowa.
Sailings.
In the last couple of years, it's been
But they're great to have.
oh yeah.
Because you can get stuff. If there's bad weather, look, you can use those cameras to get shots. Those towns, go up there.
It also sucks because, I guess, I'm not a person, I don't know exactly in the same law, but everyone is sponsored, so you have to have everyone show at some point. So I'm sure once you have all these other kids, it's hard to show all.
We actually don't know how it came up, if that's sponsored or something, it's not a sponsored camp. I want to suck so much stuff. It's just so amazing. Oh, yeah, that's all we can do. I try to do that, okay. I just keep showing it. Nobody's I'm sure. It's a good time to do it. I'm not there.
All right, we'll look for a motion to come back out of executive session.
So moved.
I was maybe, I'll second. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Somebody else could second that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, we're back out of executive session. And then I'll look for a motion to approve what we discussed.
I move to approve what we discussed in executive session. I'll second.
Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I will have to abstain
Okay. All right.
for conflict of interest, I'm sorry. Please keep up with you, Sarah.
Good.
Motion carries, Amy. All right, I think we can look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, meeting is adjourned.